Hi, welcome. My name is Jenny. I'm really excited to practice some yoga with you today. All you need is a really nice, comfortable place, a mat, maybe a block, a nice strap, and you'll see what we do with that a little bit later on. Let me just put my hair up really fast so it's out of my face. But we're going to start today in a nice, comfortable, seated position. Now, if you look at me and you think there is no way that this is going to happen, my body's not ready for this yet, any comfortable seated position is exactly where you need to be. And just take your hands, palms face down or face up, whatever's comfortable. Feel the shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears. Start to close your eyes. And just find this serene place to focus a little more intently on something so simple as the breath. Breathing deep into the back of the heart, calming your mind, getting rid of distractions, chaos, anything that kind of tends to occupy your day. Let that be brushed aside for the next little bit. And just focus in on the sound of the breath, the feeling. Taking another couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then feel yourself nice and relaxed. Start to open your eyes, gazing straight ahead. Feel the hands press in front of your heart. Taking the gaze right there at your fingertips. And again, just focusing on the here and now. Letting go of past, anything in the future, just realizing what is important right here, right now. Then start to look straight ahead. Drop the hands down towards the floor. Reach the arms out to the sides. Reaching up tall to the sky, your palms press. And then exhale, take the hands back down in front of your heart. Again, deep inhale, reaching tall. And exhale, hands back in front of your heart. And one more time, inhale, really stretch the side bodies here. Dropping the left hand down to the floor, slide it on over and extend through that right side body, looking up at the sky. Lean back just slightly so your heart is nice and open here. And then inhale, sweep it back up to the center, palms pressing at the top. Dropping the right hand down and again, slide it over, balancing the right and the left sides. Staying soft to the neck, your face, maybe a slight smile is a good thing here. And inhale, reaching straight up once again. Interlace your fingers at the top, flipping the palms of the hands up to the sky. Stay tall, and then exhale, gentle little twist. Really good for those internal organs to twist. Also really good for the spine. And then come back into the center. And then exhale, twist, taking it the other way. And then come back into the center, flip the palms of those hands back down, and then gently ease the hands back to your knees. Good, walking your fingertips out in front. Now this is where maybe you want the block. All right, so this is where you'll place the block. You can use anything in this shape. Place it out in front of you, hands on the block. And then just gently start to fold forward. And this may be where your hips start to say, whoa, stop. Or maybe you can push it a little bit more. And maybe you're just resting your forearms on that block, but just enough sensation to really feel those hips starting to open. And of course, we're breathing through it. Staying relaxed through the face, no gritting our teeth. Good. And then inhale, you can start to walk those hands up or bring the block on back. Place it back over to the side. Nice job. And now move from here onto all fours. So we'll just make sure that those hands are directly below our shoulders. The knees are about hip width distance. And our back is as flat as you can possibly get it. Sometimes we have a little sway in the back. Just kind of lift it up a little bit. And then we're just going to kick that right leg straight back. The toes are pointing at the floor. Drop those toes down, press into the heels of your hands, and press the heel towards the back. And you're gonna get this awesome stretch through the calf, maybe a little through that hamstring area, but just really feel that good stretch. And again, you're keeping that belly button lifting. Then start to move forward once again, picking that right leg back up. This is where the tricky part comes in, and there's different levels. So you're gonna keep looking down at the floor. Shift your weight into your right hand, maybe come to your left fingertips, and maybe that's enough of a balance issue right there. Maybe you can even start to extend that left arm forward, creating some nice length through the spine, through the body. This is gonna kind of stabilize things. Just take a nice deep breath here, and then drop that left hand down to the floor and take your right knee to the floor. Now sometimes, because we had a lot of weight into that right hand, the wrist might be a little cranky. So just kind of shake it out, roll it around, and we're gonna take that on the other side now. So neutral spine, look down at the floor. Pick that left leg up, toes pointing at the floor, drop them down, and then press into the heels of those hands. Really give that left leg a good stretch. And then move forward once again, lifting that left leg up. Good, keep looking at the ground. Shift your weight into that left hand. Maybe come to your right fingertips. And then maybe start to reach that right arm forward. Good, and if you fall out of it, you can get right back into it. Beautiful. And then drop that right hand down. Take the left knee down to the floor. One of my favorites and a go-to pose at any time during your practice is child's pose. So that's where we're gonna go from here. You can just take your knees right there hip width like they are and start to sink your hips, sit on the heels of your feet. Stretch your arms forward, resting your forehead on your mat. And this is really great to restore, kind of reconnect if you kind of get a little winded or you just need to take a break. This is one of those poses where you're just gonna wanna rest for a little bit, but you're still reaching those fingertips forward. Good, and just take another nice deep breath here just because it feels so dang good. And then when you're ready, we're gonna roll up slowly. So start to round through the back. Your head is dropped into the center. Round, round, round. Nice job. Back onto all fours and curl the toes under behind you. Lift up and press into your downward facing dog. Now this sometimes can be a little tricky. Basically, I like to explain it like this. It's the letter V, but it's upside down. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. And we're gonna keep the heels lifting up and a little bend in the knees, spread through the fingers, hips to the sky, and let your head kind of dangle in between your arms. Good. And I love to make little adjustments here. So you can pedal back and forth through the legs. They call this walking the dog. So you're just gonna pedal one at a time, nice and slow through those legs. Good. And if at any time being upside down like this is too much, you drop down into that child's pose and take that rest, just like I explained earlier. Good. Make your way back into that downward facing dog. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Good, and those hamstrings tend to be a little tight, all right? Maybe a little cranky. So you're gonna bend your knees, grab opposite elbows, your head totally loosey-goosey, loose through the neck, and you're just going to sway side to side. And then drop those arms down, even more of a bend in your knees so you don't get lightheaded. And roll up slowly, letting your head be the last thing that comes all the way up. Shoulders come down and relaxed. Step a couple steps to the top of your mat. Spread through your toes. Feel your feet really root deep into your mat. The hands rest in front of your heart. Close your eyes, setting an intention for your practice. Something to place within your heart to keep you motivated, keep a smile on your face, and just keep you moving through your practice. Start to open your eyes. Inhale, reach your arms out and up to the sky, your palms together. And then once again, take them back down in front of your heart. Again, inhale, reaching. And exhale. And last time, inhale, really reach tall. Take your hands in front of your heart. Step your left foot clear to the back of your mat. Your right knee nice and bent. And you can go as high or low as what's comfortable for you. And you're going to reach your arms up to the sky into a warrior one. Good. Now something to kind of look at. Your hips, they're going to face forward. Your shoulders right there over those hips and stretch upward. Good. Feel the strength. Just like it's called warrior one, you're feeling strong like a warrior. Taking another nice deep breath. The hands come together. Start to slide them down gently in front of your heart. Good. Transition your feet. Just kind of try to parallel the back foot now with the back of your mat. Your front knee still pointing straight ahead. Your arms start to reach out to the sides, coming into your warrior two. Now notice my shoulders are directly over my hips. Sometimes we feel like we need to lean forward a little bit. Just make sure that those are stacked right there. And your feet, the weight in each foot, totally even with one another. And you're looking just past that right middle finger. And you might start to feel a little heat in that front leg. Maybe it's shaking a little bit, but we're good. We can go through it. And then flip the right palm of the hand up to the ceiling, leaning back, coming into your reverse warrior. And this is such a great one because you feel that heart open, you have good space through the rib cage, and it's just a really good stretch, helping you create a little more space to breathe and to move. And then gently come back into your warrior two. Legs stay the same, maybe a little tired. We're going to take that right elbow to the right thigh. Now the left arm is going to reach overhead. And lean back just a little bit in this as well. Good. Nice and strong through the legs. Power through it. Inhale, lift back up into that warrior two. Nice job. Now straighten through that front leg. A little bit of relief, thank heavens. This may be a spot where you want to grab your block, all right? So you're going to take that block, and there's different little levels that you can use it, but we're going to place it to the inside of our right foot. The arms are out nice and long. Right here at your waist, lean forward, drop your right hand to that block, and your left arm is going to reach up in the sky. Now this pose, it's kind of one of those really good, get into all the little nooks and crannies kind of pose. I love it. You're going to get into that side body. You're going to feel the inner thighs as well. Get narrow as much as possible. And once again, you can look up, you can look straight out to the side, or look down, depending on how your neck wants to go today. And just hold it here for one more breath. And inhale, you're going to pop back up. Nice job. Take your hands to your waist and take a giant step back to the top of your mat. Maybe shake those legs out a little bit. And just like in any yoga experience, you got to balance it out. It's all about balance. So what we do to right side, we get to do it to the left side. So just set your block to the side. We're going to take a few deep breaths before we move on. So inhale, arms reach. And exhale, hands back in front of your heart. Again, inhale, getting energy, and exhale. And one more time, inhale, really reaching tall. Good, take the hands down in front of your heart. You're gonna step your foot to the back of your mat now. Then when you're ready, your arms lift up to the sky. Good. And you might notice little differences from the right to the left. It's kind of how we function in life. One side might be a little happier to be there than the other. But just feel the shoulders relax. Again, breathing into the heart, finding that strength. Then the palms press together. Slide them down in front of your heart. Now start to, again, pivot and turn sideways into your warrior two. Drishti, or focus, past your left middle finger. Back foot paralleling with the back of your mat. Good. Sometimes we're here and the shoulders tend to hunch up. Just stay calm, relax. Good. And then flip the left palm of the hand up to the sky. Your right hand trickling down the back of the right leg, leaning back. Create that space to breathe, to move, and to live. And then gently drop that left hand down. Good. Notice the fire happening in that left leg. Drop your left elbow to that left thigh. Your right arm reaching overhead. Again, leaning back. Good. If you feel like you need to straighten the leg to give it some relief, go right ahead. And inhale, sweep it back up into your warrior two. Here comes the relief. Finally, straighten through that front leg. Again, you're going to use that block. Maybe you need it up a little bit higher, a notch higher. You take it that way. Maybe medium is this way. But just take your arms out like the letter T. Lean forward at the waist. Drop the left hand down to that block. Your right arm reaching and extending. Feel it go past your fingertips. You're reaching so much. Turning your focus either out to the side or down to the floor or up at the ceiling. Always pay attention to what your neck may need and just kind of embrace that. Perfect. And power through those legs. Here we go. Inhale, lift back all the way up. And take a look at the top of your mat. Move your block and step your feet to the top of your mat. Maybe give your legs a good shake. Feel the difference between your right and your left. A little more balanced. We've done both sides. So from here, we're going to transition into tree pose. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you've heard of it. So we're going to start out on your right foot. You're going to balance right there on your right foot. Find something ahead of you that you can really focus on, like a dot, a little spot ahead of you. And start to shift your weight right there onto your right foot. Your hands are at your waist. Then when you're ready, slowly start to peel that left foot up. Now you might start to feel that wobbliness already. And if that's happening, we're going to just slowly transition this left leg out, and the toes are just gently pressing into the mat just to give you a little more stability there. And that's perfect. If you feel like you can move it on up a little bit more, feeling more balanced, take it to your calf. Place it right there. If you're ready to kind of move on a little more advanced than that, place your left foot to your inner thigh. Anywhere but the knee joint. It always wants to go to the knee joint. Don't put it there. That'll be too much pressure on your knee joint. So place it somewhere to the inside of that right leg. Remember not to lock that right knee, just a soft bend is good. Hands rest in front of your heart. You're gazing straight ahead. And of course that breath comes into play. It's helping you stay upright and stable. Then when you're ready, those branches of your tree start to grow toward the sky. Good. And during this process, you might wobble and fall out of it, but you can get right back in. Then branching them out to the sides. Good. Your heart is nice and open. Feel your collarbone nice and open as well. Rooting that right foot deep into your mat, just like the roots of a tree. Feeling stronger and stronger. And breathing. When you're ready, the hands come back together at the top, just like you started, and gently slide them down in front of your heart. Good. Moving that left knee forward. We're not done yet. Kick that left leg out in front. Maybe lift it up a little bit higher. I know the right leg's a little shaky. And then set it down and shake it out. And sometimes I like to give it a good hit right here because it's a little tender after all that balancing. So going on to the next side. Spread through the toes on that left foot now. Good. Peeling that right foot up somewhere along the inside of that left leg. Remember, skip that knee joint. Go wherever you did the last time. Try to anyways. Your hands resting in front of your heart. Good. Keeping that balance as best you can as the arms reaching up to the sky. And then find the branches of your tree. Index fingers to your thumbs. Good. Breathe. There's a lot of really sneaky little core aspects to this. Digging deep right here into that core. You're breathing. Balancing isn't easy. Sometimes there's moments in our day, seconds in our day where we're just feeling a little off. Just be patient with yourself. Kind of let that ego go. Then take your hands and reach them back up to the top. Send them down in front of your heart. Move that right knee forward. The foot kicks out in front. Good. Lift it up a little higher. Yikes. And then gently set that right foot down. Shake those legs out. Give it a good hit. You did both sides. Good job. Nice job. Now you can kind of let it go. We're going to take a couple deep breaths here. Inhale, arms reach. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Kind of wipe the slate clean. That's what I call this. Inhale, reach. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And then place your hands in front of your heart. And keep going. We're going to fold all the way down. Coming into your nice forward fold. And from here, we're going to transition down to the floor. So just start to bend your knees, maybe cross one foot or behind the other, and then just gently have a seat right there on your mat. Kicking the legs straight out in front. Now for this, it's a forward fold. Sometimes our hamstrings are a little tight still at this point. So we have this lovely little tool, and you can use anything. You can use a coat, you can use a strap, you can use pretty much anything that's like a strap, basically. So you're gonna kick your legs out in front. Wrap the strap around your feet. Really, really important here is to sit up super tall. Keep your spine lifting. You're gonna pull the belly back. Sometimes as we fold forward, the belly wants to come out. Just kind of take your mind right there to that spot, a little bit more mindfulness. Pull the belly back. It'll help you sit up tall. Then exhale, you're gonna lean forward with your heart, keeping your head up. Good. Now there are moments where we're trying so hard to reach for our feet that maybe this starts to happen. And we round through the back and our forehead collapses forward. Just do the best you can to keep that lifted, to keep that spine long, and then pull the heart forward. And you're gonna feel those hamstrings for sure. Just do the best you can with your breath, especially the exhales are your friend here. Exhale, just let it go. And you'll notice maybe little bits of flexibility as you go. If you don't need the strap, you're going to wrap your peace fingers around your toes and then just gently fold forward. The elbows, maybe they bend out to the side. And of course, our goal is to kind of reach forward. So we're going to look at a spot ahead of our feet to kind of focus on and breathe. And this is one of those really good poses for digestion, to really lengthen and decompress the spine. So much of our day, we're just compact, compact, compact. And this is going to help create that length. So just take another nice deep breath. And then inhale, we'll start to lift all the way back up to that seated position. And you're going to take a seated tree pose. So we did standing. Why not do the seated version? So you're going to bend your left foot to the inner right thigh. Now sometimes we're here and we kind of feel a little pulling going on in that knee area. Our knees and our necks, something to really baby. So if that's happening, then you'll take the block and just gently rest it under, or the knee will rest on top of that block and kind of pull that pulling sensation out. Then again, if you're not feeling so good in that hamstring, sit up tall, then exhale. Bring the chest forward that way, or if you don't need the strap, grab hold of the foot. It's just another really good option as a forward fold. Really good to pull that belly back, looking straight ahead, and lengthen that spine, also getting into that hamstring back of the leg area. Exhale just a little bit more. And then inhale, walk those hands back up. Good. And then switch sides. So the left leg extends, bring the right foot in. Use the block according if you need it. Find the strap, wrap it around. Inhale, get length. Exhale, fold forward. Good. And use that, whatever option is working for you. Exhale a little bit lower. Maybe a little easier than the standing balance version. Good. And then inhale, walk those hands on up. Perfect. You can set that strap aside. Nice. Now, something that tends to happen in the real world is gravity. Gravity tends to pull us this way, whether we're sitting at a desk or we're running around doing errands or driving in the car, we're getting tugged this way. So any chance we can to really open that heart, take advantage of that. So this next one is a really good one to kind of open that heart, and it's going to give you a jolt of energy too, which is always a good thing. So first you want to take your big toes and point them down towards the floor. Take your hands behind you, point your fingertips towards your rear end. Now you're going to point your elbows behind you. Option one, okay, modified. You're just going to lean into those hands, puff the chest up, and let your head fall back. Good. And right here, you're going to feel that heart maybe get a little pitter-patter, a little bit of energy. If you're ready to move on beyond that, you're going to lean even more into those hands, press into the heels of your feet, lift your hips, and then drop the head back. And that's a little more strengthening in your arms, but it's getting into the fronts of the shoulders and energy, open heart area. One more breath. And then exhale, look forward. Gently set the hips back down. Good. Take those hands out. Rotate through the wrists. They can kind of get a little cranky, of course, with that one. And we're going to move right into those hips. Hips. Hips are a very common area where we store stress, where we store emotional baggage, something that we don't need in our lives. It goes right there into those hips. So right now, we're going to do the best we can to kind of let that dissolve out. So from here, we're going to take the soles of our feet together. You're going to wiggle and walk the hips towards the heels of your feet. Now, some of us might be like this, and this is like, what? All right, and if that's happening, you can do this seated on a block as well. So Imagine that your feet are a book, okay? And the book is closed just like this. And the spine of the book is where our pinkies are. So we're just gonna pry that book open just like that with our feet. So we're gonna pry them open. And notice if you do that, there's a little more encouragement with the knees getting closer to the ground. So just open them up as best you can. You don't have to get crazy here. And then sit up tall. Exhale, with a flat back, your heart reaches forward. Even if it's just half an inch leaning forward, it's something. Be proud of it. Embrace where you're at. If you can go a little bit further, go for it. Good. And you're just going to take it breath by breath down as far as you can go. You're going to maybe get to a spot where your breath stops. And that's your body's way of saying, yeah, let's not do that so far. And let's come back up. So just pay attention to that breath. Press your knees to your elbows to your knees. And inhale, gently start to lift it up. Good. Moving the feet forward. So this is a good time to we're going to round for a change here. So create kind of a little diamond shape with your legs here. And you're going to take your arms or your hands and wrap them underneath. You're not having to get Gumby or kiss your feet or anything here. Just grab the tops of your feet, and I want you to kind of snuggle on in, start to round through the back. You're dropping the head down into the center, and just totally relax. Surrender into it. This is kind of one of those really cozy moments in your practice to just relax. Keep breathing though. And when you're ready, you could stay here all day if you wanted, but then inhale, start to roll it up slowly. Good. All right, bring those legs together. Your knees are going to stay bent. We're going to go down to the ground. Now for this next part, we are going to need to use this block. So kind of get it handy if you can. So trick here, your arms are going to reach forward. We're going to come down onto our back. Sometimes as we roll down, we get to that sticky spot where we just collapse down. All right, but to help us with not collapsing, look at your tummy as you roll down. Slowly, slowly, slowly you come down all the way flat till your head rests on the floor. Getting ready for a bridge pose, or a modified bridge is where we're heading with this. So the arms are going to rest beside you. You're going to walk the heels of your feet to your fingertips. Okay? Now for this first one, we're not going to use the block. We'll just do a normal modified bridge, really healthy for the spine here. Inhale. You're going to lift your hips up off the floor. Send your hands underneath you, and we're going to interlace our fingers and straighten out those arms. Good. And we're going to use a lot of power, a lot of weight into our feet. We're going to lift up as tall as we can go. Notice our chin and chest getting as close as possible to one another. And we're still breathing. Good. Take one more deep breath here. Then relax the arms out from underneath you. Slowly set the hips back down to the floor. Slide the shoulder blades out and kind of just take a moment, rest. And for this next one, we'll use a block. This is one of my favorites. It's a supported bridge. You're still working, you're still moving, and you're still breathing, but you have this awesome support of a block to come underneath you, and it just helps you feel a little more cozy in it. So, same thing. You're gonna lift the hips up, take your block, and you can kind of play around with it. You can place it. You want to place it right there underneath your sacrum, basically your tailbone area. Don't let it come into the small of your back. You want it just more into that tailbone area. This would be the smallest way. If you want to lift it up a little taller, feel free to kind of play around with it and move it up to that medium way. You can also do the tallest, but sometimes it's a little unsteady. So I would go as high as this. And just really breathe. Again, you're kind of opening that chest. You're taking this moment to press your feet into the floor. Your spine's getting that good curve. Good. But you have the support of the block to kind of hold you here. It's not so intense maybe sometimes. Good. And then from here, we're going to kick one leg up into the sky. Good. Maybe feeling good about that. We're going to maybe kick the other leg up into the sky. Good. But you have the support of the block here. And being right here in this pose is really good. This is an elevation. This is elevated pose. It's kind of getting that blood circulating in another direction. Instead of the blood pumping to our feet, it's sending it back down into the heart. This is really good for skin as well, to kind of keep healthy skin. And actually, another little tip that I heard, and I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. They say that it's anti-aging. So why not do this? So just kind of keep your legs up in the air. You might start to feel the toes tingle a little bit, but this is the equivalent of a handstand or a headstand. So don't feel like when you see pictures of that you need to be doing that. This right here is doing the same exact thing. So just stay calm through the face. Then we're going to slowly take your left leg down first. Then take your right leg down. Press into the heels of your feet. Lift your hips up, slide the block over to the side, gently set the hips down, and right there is this huge relief, like, oh, that feels good. Then take your knees into your heart. You're curling up into a nice little ball. You're releasing the spine that we just were working on here. And there's this great little pose called Happy Baby. So you're gonna grab hold of the inner arches of your feet. Your knees are out to the side, and your tailbone, it wants to lift up. Do the best you can to keep that tailbone down. And you're just gonna rock the feet back and forth, kind of like a cute little baby that found its feet or toes for the first time. I'm thinking that's what they were inspired by here. And then when you're kind of done with that, that's gonna get into the hips too. Start to bring those knees back into your heart. Maybe give yourself a great big hug, wrapping the arms around those legs. Taking a deep breath. And then from here, we'll do a nice spinal twist. So take your arms out nice and wide like the letter T. With a deep breath, inhale, start to twist your knees over to the left. Now, doing the best you can, keep those shoulder blades pressing into the floor, and you're going to turn and look past your right shoulder. And this is that final hug of the spine, really good for those internal organs. Give a good, fresh oxygen supply when you untwist. Good. And again, to the other side now. Inhale. And always, always on the exhale, you want to twist. Take your knees over to the other side. And softly gaze past your left shoulder. Again, doing the best you can to keep that left shoulder blade anchored into the floor. And inhale, bring the knees back up into the center. One last hug of gratitude. And then when you're ready, this is it, the final pose, Shavasana. So you're gonna just calmly let your legs rest. Now for some of us, lying down flat, it doesn't feel so good for our backs for whatever reason, past injuries, whatever that was. Slowly just take your knees up. And you can take your feet out almost to the edges of your mat and bend your knees in toward one another. Just kind of settle your spine and shoulder blades into your mat, your arms out to the sides, and just close your eyes. So this is a great option for your Shavasana or corpse pose or lying flat. And basically, you're wanting to become one with your mat. This is the final pose. This is the pose that is sometimes the most difficult because it's quiet. There's no movement. And it's just not part of our daily lives sometimes to have this part of our existence. So just enjoy being still, relaxed. And my advice to you is to stay here for at least 5 to 10 minutes to really get the full effect. And then slowly, when you're ready, find that deep, meaningful breath once again. Breathing into the back of your heart, wiggling fingertips slowly and toes. Roll through the ankles and the wrists, creating those larger movements as you begin to wake up. Reach your arms above your head, stretch the legs nice and long down below, like someone's tugging you in 2 different directions. And then draw the knees up into your heart. And when you're ready, roll over to your right side in fetal pose. Kind of signifying this is a new start, fresh start to your day, to whatever is happening in your life. And then from here, pressing up gently back to a seated position on your mat. You can take lotus, you can just crisscross at your shins, whatever works for you. Get back to that comfortable place. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and close your eyes. Taking a moment to reflect on your strength, your abilities, your grace. Realizing the true masterpiece that you really, truly are. Taking this with a smile on your face as you go about whatever you have for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. May the divine spirit in me honor the divine spirit in you. Namaste.